The Young Stone Age or Neolithic is a phase or level of culture in prehistoric times which has characteristics in the form of cultural elements, such as sharpened stone tools, settled agriculture, animal husbandry, and pottery making. This phase began around the 10th millennium BC. Humans are thought to have truly transitioned to a sedentary lifestyle around 800 BC, at which point the Ice Age had completely melted. This made the soil more fertile, making it suitable for farming. The end date of this period varies by region. Some isolated tribes still experience the Neolithic period. The Neolithic or New Stone Age began when humans began to sharpen and polish some of their stone tools after chipping them. The New Stone Age began less than 10,000 years ago. The map of Europe from this period shows a broad outline that is very similar to the present map. Present-day Great Britain and Ireland are separated from the European continent by the shallow waters of the North Sea, the English Channel, and the Irish Sea. Because of the submergence of the Mediterranean, Spain and Italy were no longer connected to North Africa by land bridges. Plants that flourished in the cooler Paleolithic gave way to temperate animals, and vast forests began to cover what had previously been treeless grasslands. The woolly rhinoceros, woolly mammoth, and cave bear became extinct. Wildebeest and reindeer retreated to the Arctic latitudes, while hippos, elephants, and other large mammals found their way to the tropics. The animals associated with Neolithic humans are all familiar species, with the exception of the elk, wild boar, and European bison. But it is not yet known what Paleolithic humans looked like. They may have become extinct. They may have followed the retreating ice sheets and the reindeer to the northeast into Siberia and the Arctic. Or they may have remained in their old locations and mingled with the Neolithic humans who invaded them. These newcomers apparently came from Western Asia and Northern Africa, and slowly spread throughout Europe. Neolithic humans belong to the white race. Their blood flows in the veins of modern European humans who are their main descendants. Knowledge of the Neolithic age comes not only from things buried underground as in Paleolithic caves, but also from remains found near or on the surface of the ground or in middens and burial sites. Along the Baltic coast lie mounds of bones and shells, indicating the former habitation of early man. These kitchen middens are sometimes 1,000 feet long, 200 to 300 feet wide, and 10 feet high. Tools of stone, bone, and wood, together with pottery fragments and other human artifacts, have been found in this kitchen midden. Switzerland has the remains of lake dwellers who, for protection from their enemies, lived above the lake in huts supported by poles driven into the lake bed. The huts have disappeared, but the mud around the hut posts contains thousands of objects, including animal bones, seeds of various plants and fruits, tools, scraps of cloth, pottery fragments, household utensils, and a little furniture. Neolithic humans also erected many stone monuments, either single pillars, menhirs, or groups of pillars, dolmens. Menhirs often mark a grave. Dolmens usually serve as burial places for the dead. Menhirs and dolmens are crude monuments to ancient peoples and have been destroyed. The Neolithic period covers a short period of time, compared with earlier periods, but it was an age of rapid progress. Neolithic tools, although still made of stone, bone, and wood, were often very beautiful and refined, especially arrowheads and axes with sharp cutting blades. Kitchen-midden people began to make pottery especially for cooking, and they domesticated dogs. Lake dwellers had goats, sheep, pigs, and dogs. They also made baskets, spun and wove, tanned leather, built boats, used wheeled carts, and most important of all, they cultivated a number of cereals, including wheat, barley, and millet. The new sources of food that were opening up led Neolithic people to abandon their nomadic hunter-gatherer life and to settle in permanent villages. Their community life must have been well organized, since the construction of lake huts and stone monuments required the cooperation of many individuals. In short, Neolithic people were not savages. They had passed from savagery to barbarism. Neolithic culture was not only limited to Europe. Neolithic culture also lived in Western Asia, Egypt, North Africa, and on the islands of Cyprus and Crete. The entire Mediterranean basin became the center of the Neolithic. Here the transition to the use of metals for the first time occurred.